Welcome back to the Magdalene Rising Summit. I am here with this amazing light body, Aletheia, Sophia. I am so excited to be here with you, speaking with you, sharing our experiences and knowings of the Magdalene with each other. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Well, thank you so much, Carrie, for the invite. It's absolutely amazing to be meeting everybody here in this space.
So I researched you a little, watched some. I didn't find you. There's four women of the Magdalene, and somebody else found you, but I am the recorder often out here in the front facing space. Tell us about yourself. Tell us what brought you to where you are today.
Well, I'm living in the French Pyrenees, right underneath a castle called the Chateau de Montségur, which is the old Cathar fortress. And the Cathars, it could well be said, were the spiritual descendants of Mary Magdalene. So here in France, the whole country agrees she came to the south of France. And of course, there's tales that she went to Turkey, Alexandria, other places. But here in France, we absolutely validate that she has most definitely been walking around the south in the what was known as the Languedoc region and Provence, now known as Occitania. So I'm really in a epicenter of her presence when
Mm.
she was here, and then centuries later, as her ministry, I guess, strengthened so much so that it was actually running parallel to the Church of Rome.
Mm.
So in medieval times, this Cathar faith, it was a simple Christian expression. It had gained so much popularity and momentum that it was 50-50. Who was a Cathar? Who was a Catholic? And for a while, everybody lived side by side, very happy, very peaceful. And maybe we would be right in saying the Church of Rome was not happy with a contender. And so two crusades were sent to this region to extinguish the
Mm.
essence, the message, the ministry. But when the last Cathar died in 1321, with a great smile on his face, filled no doubt with the Holy Spirit, he said, in 700 years we shall return when the laurel turns green again. So
Mm.
1321 plus 700 is 2021. And so living in this region, I can absolutely say that
Yes.
prophecy is and has been fulfilled. We
Wow.
have returned.
We have returned. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. And so what do you do there? Like, what is tell us about what your practices are today.
Well, we have a, a large, very large property. It was once a colony de vacances owned by the Catholic Church that looked after children in the summer months, June, July, August. So it's enormous. There used to be 300 kids here.
Oh.
And, and because it was run by the Catholic Church, we have a chapel. We also have an enormous water source. We've got a huge spring at the back of the house. And so we say we are a family-run bed and breakfast, and we are. But behind the scenes, we are doing our beautiful, sacred Magdalene Christed works. We're
Mm.
doing baptisms in the water. I've come up with something called Sacred Body Awakening, a somatic practice with two others. And I really feel it's It's come from the inspiration of Mary Magdalene. I often ask myself, what was she and the other Marys, what were they up to? What, not only what was with their role, what was their medicine? How did they bring that Christed spirit to the people? Yeshua, as you know, absolutely amazing orator, able to deliver the living word in just one word.
Yeah.
But I always had a feeling those Marys, they were into more of an embodied gesture and ritual, imparting divine grace from one being to another.
Wow, incredible.
Can you hear our roosters?
I can't hear your roosters at all. I wish I could. There's a lot of roosters around me as well. It's interesting. I just recently moved and I realized this morning, I was like, oh, I don't know where my makeup is. So be it. I'll show up on natural. It's all fab.
Yes.
Talk about the baptism. I know that you are offering about the baptism rites as your offering for us. Can you talk to us about that?
Absolutely. Well, being perhaps of the more Gnostic persuasion, mystical early Christianity, it doesn't take long before you come across this rite of the 5 seals. I found it in I have to take my time to say this one. Oh gosh, trimorphic protonoia. Whoa. Trimorphic protonoia. That is a Gnostic text found in the Nag Hammadi, mentions it in detail. So does the Gnostic Gospel of the Egyptians, another Gnostic manuscript found in Nag Hammadi. And finally, the Apocryphon of John. 3 very heavy-duty Gnostic manuscripts found all together in the Nag Hammadi discovery, all talking of the rite of the 5 seals. First of all, what amazed me is that submersion in water is only one of 5 parts. There's 4 other parts. For instance, it begins with you receiving your robe of light, a garment, a heavenly garment, where even just to see it being presented to you by an angel already starts to remind you of your origins in a very palpable way. It's kind of like, oh,
yeah,
there's my dress. But the most beautiful thing I love about this dress, when you slip it on, you get to notice there's a bit of embroidery on the inside. And when you look at it, or maybe even ask the angel for a bit of clarification, you're told, this is your true name. It can't be pronounced at first, but then in a dreamy haze, you might say to the angel, who put it there? And you know the answer, don't you? You already know the answer. You did, said the angel. Now, this is all written. This is not me going into storyteller mode.
right.
So you've got your garment of light. Then you have your submersion in water. Then you get given an anointing of a crown all around the head in generous quantities of oil, so much so that it's pouring. So a real generous band of oil goes around your entire head, giving you a sense of an authority. You do have the right to receive this ritual. You are ready. You are worthy. And so maybe even the tears, your humble tears, bleed in to that oil.
Wow.
Then, part 3, you find yourself at the door of the bridal chamber. And on the other side of that doorway is your spiritual twin. Oh, so that takes a bit of time to push open that door. Because once you go in there, there's no coming back. You cannot not see who's there waiting for you.
Yeah.
From there, in union, you then receive the Eucharist as a marital gift of celebration. The heavens are celebrating because you and your spiritual twin are one. And then finally, it's called snatched up. You are snatched up, a rapid ascent all the way up to the seventh heaven, where you get to see the face of the Heavenly Father. And just when you think, I'm going to lose consciousness, from behind him out steps the Holy Sophia. And then she says something, and I'm not going to say it now. And you slowly, and safely descend.
Wow.
Totally wow. Totally wow.
Totally wow.
I'm like, this needs to come fully back. This whole thing needs to come fully back now. This is an initiation. This is a beautiful ceremony.
Yes.
So I have been tidying up the ritual, not making it too heavy. Sometimes those old manuscripts, the wordage that can be quite heavy, and bringing it through again, and encouraging others to bring it through again.
And so this is the ritual that, let's say, John the Baptist may have known, right? Through his teachings.
Yes. My feeling is this is what John the Baptist was delivering. This is what Jesus Christ received. This is what Mary Magdalene received and gave. Yes. Because you don't get to hear too much of Jesus doing much baptizing.
Right.
But by golly, Mary Magdalene was knocking them out all over the south of France. There's so many pools and rivers and fountains dedicated to Mary Magdalene, as this is a possible baptism site.
Wow.
So this must have been one of Mary's like big offerings.
Yeah. Now, in an interview I watched with you, you were talking about how your love is really of the logos, of the word. And just listening to you talk about it, like I can feel it, right? Like how those words, the words that are spoken, the words that we bring forth, how they are part of the magic or the mystery of what you were just speaking. What brought you into that love affair with the logos?
Well, I think it might have to do with my Irish blood. So my father was also a storyteller and a singer. Now, if you think I can bring things to life, you need to have met him. He was your classic Irish dad. He was a Leo. He was just born to perform. Wow. So I most definitely looked up at him. I was quite a timid and shy little girl, actually. Something must have happened as I got older. So I first heard and felt that living word transmission in him. Wow. Now, he also had a real thing about Jesus and the Holy Spirit. He was a Catholic, but he was definitely very interested in what I was discovering in the south of France. So he's very, very open-minded and open-hearted. But he had the gift of the word.
That's amazing. Well, I thought this was interesting because I just watched an interview where you talked about the logos, and I run a prayer circle to the divine feminine every morning. And this morning I thought I want to read a different story. And I took a book and I opened it up, this book, Mary Oliver's.
Oh, yes, yes.
And I opened it right to logos.
Whoa.
And I want to read her poem, if you don't mind, because I just think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Why wonder about the loaves and the fishes? If you say the right words, the wine expands. If you say them with love and the felt ferocity of love and the felt necessity of that love, the fish explode into many. Imagine him speaking, and don't worry about what is reality. or what is plain or what is mysterious. If you were there, it was all those things. If
Mm.
you can imagine it, it is all those things. Eat, drink, be happy. Accept the miracle. Accept too each spoken word spoken with love. When
Mm.
I thought, oh, I opened to this page because of you today, because
Mm.
of that, like just the juiciness and the just the juiciness of those words of how what we
Mm.
speak and with love becomes the reality that we live with love.
Mm.
Yeah.
What I noticed is when I was going through a very intense time, and I really felt I needed more assistance, more help with this one. In a very, very respectful way, I saw my Mary Magdalene figure and I said, My lady, thank you so much for everything thus far. But Mary, where I'm heading now, I don't want you to come because it's a little bit dark. May I be permitted to meet your teacher? And in my imagination, Mary's redness moved to one side and a dark silhouette stepped forward. And I went, oh, 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 oh. She oozed primordial ancientness. And after a while, long, long while, weeks, months, I knew this was the Holy Sophia. So I felt I was touching the fringes of her wisdom, but I
Mm.
couldn't speak it. I was just,
In
uh,
awe of it.
yes. And then I think her sacred other, in the Gnostic terms, you'd say syzygy, her twin, her other, whether it's Jesus Christ on the earth or a higher aspect, the Logos. I asked to be able to speak this to
Mm.
others. And that's when Logos did it.
Well,
And I love it. Love it, love
it
it.
it
When I,
shows. It shows in your essence, in your vibrancy that like that it just that the light is emanating from a place far beyond your human body. It's just so evident in your
mm,
essence. Yeah, it's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that.
thank you, Carrie. And I
Ah,
love it when I hear others be able to voice it too.
well, and
I
I, I
swoon.
I think it's interesting. I was not raised of religion at all. In
Mm,
fact, I always identified as a witch.
mm,
My mother was a Catholic, and she had left the religion or been removed from the religion for divorce and lots of reasons that she was no longer Catholic. So in some ways, I was raised anti-Catholic in
yes.
a lot of ways because she was angry and resentful. She had wanted to be a priest. So I
Mm,
never touched the Bible in any real sense. And
mm,
Mary still found me. Mary
mm.
still
Yeah.
came, and Jesus
Yes.
still came. And
Yes.
and so I was shocked. The first time I ever saw Mary, and it was being a witch or a psychic or somebody who's always sort of been able to move a little in the realms, move a
Yes.
lot in the realms. But I was like, why are you here for me?
Mm,
And
mm.
then the seeing of Mary was something like I had never seen. It wasn't a knowing, it wasn't a goosebumps, it wasn't an ear raise, it was a full body. She's in front of me in my
Wow.
kitchen, a woman.
Yes. Wow.
And when I saw her, I said, why me? Why are you here? Like, I'm
Yes.
a sinner.
Yes.
I was born a sinner. I never left. And she
Yes.
stepped right into me. And it was
Yeah.
like lightning bolts and like sparklers and then Jesus was there.
Whoa.
And you said something in an interview about like it's just that full body, and I was like, it was like an orgasm. It was,
Yes.
there was nothing else to describe it. Seeing him and being in that energy
Yeah.
and like that, and I was so confused because here I am like, what? How did this happen to,
Yes.
why me?
Yeah.
And I think it's confusing for somebody who never had any of those the understanding or the stories or the, and so even when you talk about the Eucharist, like I remember the first time I heard it, I'm like, what the heck's a Eucharist? Like what are we talking about here?
Yes.
Do you did you feel a tug of Mary being raised Catholic? Did you feel a connection to those stories or were you?
No, I had a similar upbringing to you. So my dad was, being Irish, he was quite keen. The entire family were very keen for me to be Catholic. But my mum, who's English and perhaps atheist or maybe pagan, she was having none of that.
Mine is a
that
swip swap.
and that was the family shadow. There
Ah,
was a lot of arguments, a lot of tension around this particular subject, which I got to hear, which of course made me curious. Like, what are mum and dad arguing about? So often about this thing called religion. So in the end, mum won.
ah,
So I had zero religious studies. I know a few words because of dad being Catholic, but I did not have that religion overlaid on top of me, which I'm now very, very grateful for. At
yes.
the time was very confused and wanted. I too had a feeling like, I'm a nun, I'm a nun, I'm a nun. And mum's like, no, you're not.
I
Uh,
always do. I always thought like I I was an avid gardener. I've been an avid gardener for a long time since I was taught how to garden in grade school because of where
yes.
I lived, and I always felt so much presence of God in that
Mm,
space without ever, and also feeling like I was never actually welcome to cross the doorway into a church. Like I because I hadn't
yeah.
been given one, that
Yes.
none of them really had arms open to me in a
Yes.
real way.
Yes.
Yeah, it's interesting. Well, I love it. Irish. I'm Irish and English as well. Malone is my
Ah,
is
oh,
my last name.
wow.
Yeah. Molly was going to be
Great.
my first, but my mother convinced my father otherwise. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
do you think when it comes to connecting with the Magdalene that it requires more of a cellular faith than an intellectual faith?
Oh, definitely. Definitely. And a very open mind, like a lucid mind or a Gnostic mind. Free of concepts, free of dogma, lots of longing, lots of desire, innocence, openness, willingness to be taught.
Mm.
And it's been my experience that all her teachings are essences and fragrances felt within the body.
Mm.
The body is the classroom. Her arrival emerges in the body.
Yeah.
And as soon as you try and put your head to it, she's gone.
She's gone.
She's gone.
She's gone. She came to me and told me to move. Actually, she told me
Yeah.
you have to sell your house. You have a higher calling. You need to go. It's like, and I did, she hasn't come back. And I'm like, I'm here now. What'd you do? Like, why aren't you here? But it's because it's all in here. Like, you should be here now. I did what you said. When
Yes,
you say
yeah.
a real deep longing for what?
Mm. Mm. Well, I have tools. So this one might be handy in a moment you just described. Do you happen to have a vase in your home that
Yeah,
is the shape of an alabaster jar? So
perhaps.
sometimes I reach for my vase or grail. I got loads of grails all over the place. So I get it because I'm a somatic person as well. I get into a very classical posture of Mary Magdalene that you'd probably see in a nice bit of fine art or a statue. And I'll get into position and I'll get it absolutely as I see it in the painting. Little dab of spikenard, one of her favorite oils, the one that was in the alabaster jar, that could open things up. That somatic, visceral, here I am in your appearance, in your image. You know, that's quite classic words, isn't it? I made you in my image. Well, here we are, my lady, we're in your image. Come to us. And I'll put good money on it that she does.
Yeah. I'm going to try it.
Please do. Please do.
As soon as I find my oils again, like I said.
Yes. Yeah.
It might be that I'm still in fragments floating in this space currently.
Yeah.
So as we round up, I think you said you had 30 minutes for us. As we round up, what do you want the people here to know, to understand, or to realize? The people who are searching or wanting, or else the people who, I don't know, what do you want to share? What is this?
Well, I'd definitely like to bring some awareness to water. Sacred waters, wells, springs, lakes, oceans, waterfalls. I think it goes back to that baptism again. I seem to notice that Mary Magdalene and Jesus had a real thing about water.
Do you think they were of the myrrh line?
Yes.
Yes.
And, you know, walking on water, healing with water, turning water into wine, baptism in this way. Mary Magdalene did not walk one Roman road in the south of France. She walked her way through the rivers. You know, she was being cautious. It's not a good idea to go on the Roman roads because it's full of Romans. So she got around by walking in the water, in the rivers. And that could be a great little inroad for us, taking care of our local well, spring, waterfall, asking perhaps to be reminded of how these Christed figureheads, worked with water. I always say they had an alliance, they had an agreement, an elemental superpower agreed to work with them in expanding and magnifying, that's a good word, their ministry. And I suspect, because there's a lot of new consciousness around water at the moment, Veda Austin from New Zealand doing her hydroglyphs, Dr. Emoto, I have a feeling it too is having a revival, which would make sense. If the sacred feminine is reviving, then what her favorite element has always been water, the goddess. So it doesn't surprise me that we're all getting into water these days.
Yeah. Okay. That now, just out of curiosity, as an astrologer, what's your sign?
Capricorn. But only just
a cardinal. I could tell I have no water in my chart, except for my rising sign is Scorpio. But so that's not really a planet, it's a placement. So I am so fire. That I also, like, I think like we come from the water and we come from the mountains. Both of those things, like like that Mother Mary was perhaps of the fairy realm. So that there's a lot of that myrrh and earth in the teachings. I love that. And I agree. And the waters come from the mountains anyways. They bubble up from the centers. And beautiful time. Thank you so much for sharing your energy and your light with all of us here in the Magdalene Rising Collective. We are may we never lose our way to the well.
Yes, absolutely. It has been a delight to be with fellow sisters who ooze such enthusiasm, and I can really see and feel your love for the pair of them, and that is quite astonishing and breathtaking.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you.
Mm,
Blessed be.
blessed be.